It is finally time for a version 14 Lite update. Version 14 Lite, Tesla FSD, full self-driving. And it's still supervised, yes. But this is what all the hardware 3 vehicles have nowadays, is a version 14 Lite, which is very similar to the full version on the hardware 4 vehicles. It took me quite some time before I made this video. Early on there were some videos from people that have EAP, Enhanced Autopilot. No, I'm just kidding. Enhanced Autopilot actually was a thing back in 2018 to like 2020. But EAP, Early Access Program. So there were some YouTubers that have access to that very early, and that has nothing to do with the setting on the software screen inside the car where you go to advanced. That's not what I'm talking about. That is just certain specific people. Well, we're not part of that group. Also, right off the bat, there were some issues with the version 14 Lite with the EAP people, and things changed and it was updated a few times. And so now we're on a version that is pretty steady, that we've been driving with, my daughter has been driving with, and I have been driving with a little bit. Unfortunately, my daughter needs this car, so it's a little tough for me to steal it from her. So that didn't help the situation of getting this video done earlier. But at this point, at least I have been driving, we have experience with it, and we can give you a real life take on this version 14 Lite on hardware 3 vehicles. Alright, as you can see, I'm inside the garage. I got the garage open. You can see outside there's a trailer, there's some trees. It's a bit tricky to get out of here. Hardware 3 vehicles on version 12 do not unpark. So they don't drive out of the garage or anything, but the version 14 we were told will do what the other version 14 does, right? Version 14 Lite now does unpark itself. So, and I'm going to show you if this car makes it out of this garage or not, and how it is going to do it, because it's a bit tricky out there. Let me give you a closer look outside. All right, so let's walk around the car. We're still plugged in here. So, let's take a look right here. So we're right here on this light gray slab, and you can see straight behind us there is a tree right there and a trailer right there. There's enough room to get through in between. What my daughter does, she backs up and she goes over this way. So she goes basically as we're looking at it to the right. When we're backing up, it will be to the left. Then over here it kind of goes out in the dirt, so we can't go very far. All this dark stuff here, that's asphalt milling, so we can be on there. So now the question is, first of all, is the car getting out the door? Where is it going? There, or what is it doing? So let me know down below in the comments what you think this car will do. I'm not going to show you this right now. I'll be showing you that somewhere in the middle, or not necessarily the middle, somewhere in the video. I will show you what the car does, or if it even can get out of here. So let me know if you think it can actually make it out of here, or if it will just come out here and stop. And if you think it can make it, which direction it goes. And now we don't know where to go. So with our driveway here, there is the driveway, but it does not know that. That's one of those things. Even with version 14 on the hardware 4 vehicle, it doesn't know that. It goes wherever, backwards and wrong, but it always finds the way out. So we made a little detour that we didn't need, but now we're on the way down to the road. This is our driveway. Obviously no lines, nothing. It would like me to give it an address. I haven't given it an address yet. So we'll see what it does down here. We're coming down to the road. And our road is we call it a gravel road. It's a county road, so it's maintained. Okay, it sets turn signal to the left. And we're going out. We got a little hump here. And off we go. So it still would like to know where to. Also, you might have heard about the streak. The streak is on all full self-driving vehicles. So here we go. It stays on the right side of the road without lines, just as a driver would, or a car would. Actually, usually I drive a little bit towards the middle, but obviously the car, it needs to stay on its side, right? But anyway, yeah, so we got the streak, which will break that multiple times. I don't much care about that. There will be another video about this streak and what's good and bad about it. And then you see there we got standard mode. So in this right here, we do have less modes. So the highest is hurry, standard, chill, sloth, and that's it. And these are speed profiles that they say for non-highway driving, but that's not really true. It affects highway driving too. It will obviously, in sloth, you can see it's going 25 now. The speed limit is wrong. We're a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit here. But so it does affect the speed as I go with this. As I bring it down in the profile, it will slow down even on the highway. So it will be way more aggressive in hurry and standard than in chill and sloth when you're in town. So when you're taken off from a stop or pulling in or whatever, it will drive a bit more aggressive. That is the idea of that, and that works. That's what it does. But it also does affect the top speed. For us here in Montana, it is 80 miles per hour on the interstate. And unless we go to hurry in this vehicle or to Mad Max in the Hardware 4 in the Cybertruck, it's not going 80. So anyway, so we're here now. We have an upcoming turn up here since I don't have a destination in there. I'm not sure. I'm gonna try if I can set the turn signal and if it will take it. So I'm gonna down to sloth here to slow the car down a little bit. And then, I don't know, with Hardware 4, sometimes I can do this. We got the turn signal set, but no, it will blast by. So I want to take this turn because I want to get off the dirt road. All right, so here we are. And we're going right back on. I could also do it here. I tap the lever. And it still tells me driving with no destination. So now we're here on the paved road and we do have lines. Well, somewhat lines. Now this said, our Rivian R1 that has the driver assist that should be able to drive. We were actually told it would do driving on all the roads eventually, which was a lie. It will never do that. The first generation vehicles, R1, will never ever do that. So, and even the second generation Rivians, they can only do it if they have lines. Visible lines. As you can see, those lines here are not very visible. So Rivian most likely is not going to drive itself here. But here we're basically fine. I just would like us to choose a destination. So we got a few miles to go to the interstate. So I will, I guess I will see you once we maybe go on to the interstate, I guess. So we can see how it acts right there. Since the car is pretty dirty, what we're doing is we're going to town to the car wash, get it cleaned up, and then let it drive around town a little bit. We are coming closer to the interstate. In regards to how often it nags you or whatever, it is about the same as on Hardware 4. So it is not really picky. It will do the same things as Hardware 4 if you don't pay attention or you hold stuff in your hands. It may take away what you can see there, the green dot, which the green dot is the camera monitoring, where the camera up in there monitors you. But if it's unsure about things, it will take that away and you still have to apply torque to the wheel. Just like Hardware 4, really, no difference there. By now we chose a Rods and Dogs car wash. we're about to enter the interstate here in 0.7 miles. It was a pretty uneventful drive to get here. There was one stop, no problem with the turn. That was no problem before, so nothing has changed here. I do not expect any issues getting on the interstate either. I mean, this is pretty simple stuff, and especially interstate driving is not an issue whatsoever, I'm sure, because this vehicle has done this back in 2019 on Navigate on autopilot, which means you went onto the on-ramp and you double-clicked the stalk here, and then it would navigate and drive you all the way to the off-ramp. It would even, if there were intersections of like an interstate highway, it would go through those, it would do all that, and it would literally take you to the exit. It would pass everybody and everything, so that's been like easy all along. So interstate is really nothing big. I'm in standard profile here. We're going on. Yeah, nothing really eventful here. This stuff was good on hardware 3, no problem there. So the only thing I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna get up to hurry. So we're getting on. It sets the turn signal now. I think it did that before. There was a long time where it would not set the turn signal, but eventually that did, and it does now too. And so yeah, in hurry we can make 80. If we're not going to hurry, it usually doesn't make 80. To me, 82 would be even better, but we don't have a choice here anymore. Actually, I'm lying. Let's see here. There was an option. How did that work? No, that went away with an update. I'm wrong. So initially we had it, and then it went away completely, I think. So yeah, we just have the profiles now. Yeah, there's so many changes all the time, but yeah. So now we're going, well, it says 16 miles to the car wash, 15 miles to the exit. We're going to Missoula, and so no need to show you anything here. This is a boring drive on the interstate. All right, we are approaching a 75 mile an hour. It's going 83 now in hurry. Oh, now it's 84. So there was the 75 mile an hour sign. It does not slow down. I'm gonna take it down here. I'll force it. There we go, and chill. Oh, it goes below. I'm going back up to standard. There we go. It's 75 now. So that is an issue, but that is not just an issue with the hardware 3 v14 Lite. That is the same exact issue with the hardware 4. The vehicles do not necessarily slow down all the time, and like at this particular spot here, yes, the Cybertruck with hardware 4 keeps blasting, and I also need to change the driver's profile to make it slow down. So we're about to exit 4.3 miles there, and then it gets a little more interesting. We got a roundabout coming and pulling into the car wash. All right, we're closing in, and we were driving pretty eventless until just now in a slower area. And if you look at this gauge right there, you can see the black, that is acceleration. And if it goes down into green, that's regen. So what it's been doing, it's been jumping around a bit at times. Actually today it has done pretty good, but it's like, I don't know, it's like giving either hard acceleration or hard deceleration just for a split second. And now that I got the camera on it, this is pretty even there. It will jump and maybe get 3-4 times as much black as it is now. Right now it feels good, but you kind of, it's almost like in a gas car if you have a misfire. It's kind of, that's what it feels like. So but it's been doing pretty good today. It did it just a few times now, and like I said, now that I got the camera on it, it's not doing it at all. A little bumpy here with the bridge. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's been at times pretty bad, I would say, where it just kind of jerks. Yeah, just like I said, like a misfire on a car, if you ever experienced that. Now today it's been doing pretty darn good. So I don't know what causes it. I don't think it's like phantom braking or anything, because it goes both directions. You can see that black bar jump up, so it's acceleration at that point, definitely not phantom braking. A lot of people still reported phantom braking. I have not experienced phantom braking with this car. Even on V12, it was extremely rare to have phantom braking. So and whenever it was very minimal, not like a full on emergency braking situation or whatever. All right, here we're taking the exit, the usual thing on the screen, and then we're making a right turn, and then we go through a roundabout. Now this one down here is interesting if you're going straight, basically back on the on-ramp, or you make a left turn, you have a stop, but going right, you don't. And the car does perfect. It turns in front of the stop. Then we come here and we have to change lanes. We got to get over, and this kind of sucks. I don't know, but they all do that. They change lanes on the intersection there. That's yeah, you know. My personal preference is to go past it. Now there was no car, so it didn't matter. Now we're approaching the roundabout here, going through the roundabout. No traffic here anyway at this point. Okay, we're setting a left turn signal, going out here. Now hardware 4 always goes over into the right lane, okay? But if you can see the sign here, the sign is actually the right lane goes away. So hardware 4 is now over here, and then comes back over here, setting a turn signal again. Now hardware 3 on V14 Lite does perfect. It stays in the left lane and keeps going straight. Doesn't set a turn signal. It's not required because we're not changing a lane. The right lane goes away, our lane stays. Now, this is an interesting one here. So it shows parking and it just stops on the road. We are, oops, it's beeping at me. We are going into the parking lot. And this is a issue with hardware 4. So let's see what hardware 3 does here at this point. So the car wash is right here. This here is the exit. And that is exactly what hardware 4 does as well. It goes into the exit. Okay, and now here it goes past the coffee shop. Interesting. So we don't want to go to the coffee shop. Let's see. Okay, it was unsure. It jerked forward and back. And where are we going? I have no clue. So hardware 4 last time parked us right here. I don't know. Okay, now we're going right. Let's see what we're doing. Oh, there's a car coming from this side. That just turned into the road here. Let's see what it's doing. The car wash is, the entrance is on the other side. We were on the exit side. I mean, it went through the coffee shop area there. That is correct. It can do that. Now let's see what we're doing. So we're going here. And oh, somebody's picking apples there. Look at that. Ooh, tons of apples. Ooh, look at that. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Whoa, 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 whoa. Holy crap. Holy crap. Okay, I gotta stop here. Wow. Okay, hardware 4 never done that. Hardware 4 parked us on the other side, outside there. It didn't bring us over here. Hardware 3 version 14 Lite brought us to the car wash, but it was about to drive in, but obviously the car wash is not ready. So right here we would have to pay. I actually got an app, so I don't need to use the machine over here. But so yes, I'm gonna initiate that. I'm gonna drive myself in here. But that was interesting. So I gotta try that again someday and have it ready. Hopefully when it's empty like this, have it ready for us to just pull in and see what it does. Because there is a stop sign up there, and I'm wondering if it will actually pull forward and stop when that sign comes on, lights up. So, all right, well, let me get in here. We're in here. And what is that? These color treatments that you can get when you're in the hot tub or whatever. So that's what the car's getting. Anyway, so we are in car wash mode, by the way. Most electric cars have that. I don't even know if any gas cars would have that. The only reason I'm using this because it automatically makes sure that all the windows are closed, that the charge port door doesn't open. We don't need sentry mode to go off. If you would leave the vehicle, there are car washes where you leave the vehicle. We don't want the parking assist chimes going off. We don't want the wiper to go. And we want climate control recirculating because we don't want to suck in the chemical smell here. Ooh, blue, look at that. We don't want to suck in the chemical smell. So yes, we want that off. We could fold the mirrors if we wanted to. The screen clean mode is here if you wanted to clean your screen while you're in here. On the very bottom, this here is for the automatic car wash where your car rolls through, so you can enable the free roll with leaving the vehicle. And then over here you can exit, but as you can see up on top here, it will automatically exit at 10 miles per hour if you don't use the button down there. Yeah, so I leave the mirrors out. I don't see the need for folding them in. So yeah, we're getting a bath here and then we'll be out and get going again to our next destination. So one of the things is, as long as you're in car wash mode, you can't get any other screen to go. So we got to exit car wash mode. We do navigate. Let's see, where is, do we have Home Depot in here somewhere? Nope. Oh, there it is, Home Depot. Let's go over to Home Depot. That keeps us on surface streets here. Oh, there's a beautiful car right there. All right, so I'm just right outside here of the car wash, and I'm gonna tap full self-driving there, and it says driving to Home Depot. So let's see how this does. Nobody coming from there. Yeah, it's funny how it stops at the stop sign, even though basically the road is way up there. By the way, that's no different than Hardware 4. So that's the same thing they do. Also, Hardware 4 doesn't avoid any potholes, neither does Hardware 3. They do avoid obstacles, both of them in the road, so that hasn't been an issue. So we'll see here, what does the navigation say? So, okay, interesting, this navigation takes us all the way to the light there, while the truck actually right after this turn there, where you see, even if you can see that the building 35, we're slowing down, good. It was 45, it's still going 40, is still a bit fast anyway. But anyway, so there where that big building is, right in front of it is a road, and Hardware 4 or the Cybertruck navigates that way for some reason. Going to Home Depot from the car wash here, same exact thing, it would turn right here. So this vehicle does not. So I don't know if that has to do with the navigation or with the FSD. I suspect that is the navigation software that is different on this vehicle than it is on the Cybertruck. They all should be basically up to date on the same thing. But we do have an update awaiting here, so maybe that is an update that would have changed that, who cares. So we're coming up to the light, and we'll see what it does here. We're turning right. We got a turn signal set. We're going into the right lane, and we're staying towards the right, which is correct because this is also a straight going. Now we got a pedestrian here. We got nobody coming there. We're still on red. We can turn. All right. It accounted for everything and everybody. Here we go. And it does speed up to 45 real quick here. So not like slowing down people. All right. It done pretty good. Happy with that. Now we got 0.9 miles. And it goes to Union Pacific. And if we look here, so it goes past Home Depot, goes in, and then goes back into the parking lot instead of taking the road before. Hardware 4 does the exact same thing. So yes, done that with the Cybertruck many times. The Cybertruck does the same thing. It goes down to Union Pacific Street instead of taking the street before. That's a navigation issue, not an FSD issue. It doesn't get us there either way. Okay, we're kind of stuck in traffic here. We're in standard, by the way, for the speed profile. Gotta hold the camera a bit over to the side here. We're not supposed to hold anything in this town. But usually vehicles do not have FSD. All right, so let's see here. That one goes out of the way. Right after that 45-mile-an-hour sign that is coming up here, where that car was turning there, that's where we could turn to go to Home Depot. But for some reason, everything, hardware 3, hardware 4, goes straight to the light and then turns right up here. Got the turn signal set. And there we go. No problem. Nothing exciting. And then the option also would be, there are 2 entrances. And right here, where that truck's coming out, that is the first entrance to Home Depot parking lot. And then this here is the second entrance. And all of them, Cybertruck and this vehicle, takes this entrance. Now, it doesn't say much about parking. It says parking in the parking lot, so we're pulling in. Let's see where we're going here. Okay, we're turning here. Whoop, there's a car coming over on this side. They hesitated, but all right, there we go. Okay, they're past us. Now we are going. Now let's see. Over here, we can't park. Oh, what is it doing? What is it doing? What is it doing? Okay, we're not going in here, but it's backing up. Okay, back here. Let's see, we're backing up. Is it in the right spot? I think we are, because over here is the delivery. But we are, look at the lines here. Look at these lines. Whoa. Holy crap. Okay, bad parking spot. Bad. Let's pull this up again. Look at the line. We're right on the line here. We got a ton of room. I hope you can see that here. Ton of room there. No room here. So, other than that, we're in, we're parked, we're good. So, now we gotta find a new destination. By the way, hardware 4 does a crappy parking job sometimes too. And what I noticed, they always wanna back in for some reason. I do not know why. Rarely they pull in straight. So let me find a new destination and then off we go. Okay, new trip here. We're going to the university. I'm not even sure, Campus Drive, that's the standard address. But first, it gave us 2 options. The one option was taking the interstate, which is basically the faster way and usually the easier way. But we're going through town here, just so we can see more stuff. I don't know that there is much exciting, actually. So, but yeah, we'll see. I'll show you whenever there's something exciting. We can do this here. Oh, or not. Can I do it here? Look, it does it from there, but it didn't take it from here. That is weird. Oh, because I need to step on the brake. What the heck? Yeah, I think so. I got to step on the brake. Okay, we got something coming here with a trailer. Not sure where the guy is going. We want to go to the right. Let's see. And that is funny. We came in here from the left, but they always go out to the right. Even hardware 4. No difference. I don't know why, because the other way around is actually better. Because we can come in easily here, because it's a right turn from the main street there, and easy to get in here. And there's no light on this road at the main street. Now, going out, today we're going to the right, but commonly we go to the left. So there's no light. It's an unprotected left turn, but it still goes out this way instead of where it came in, because there we have a light and a protected left turn. And when it's really busy, oh, you can be sitting here for quite some time to do a left turn. So this is not the way to go. So I'm waiting on when I can choose my preferences or where the car will learn from us. At this point, hardware 4, the Cybertruck, does the same exact thing. So we're doing pretty good. So far, just as good as the regular version 14 on the Cybertruck. So here we got a little bit of traffic usually, and it always stops a little far back, same as hardware 4. Yeah. We are in standard, so it's not super aggressive, but here we could go. Is it going? It's not. Okay, so usually I would have stepped on the accelerator pedal, but today, since we're recording this, I didn't. You can step on the accelerator pedal and make it go. Now that it sees nothing, it's finally going. So, I don't know. It's in standard. There is only one mode above that, so I'm not sure that I will consider this great. And then here we got a... Oh man, that was too late. It should have stopped. So it made it with being yellow, but still, there was a car the opposite direction making a left turn, waiting to turn, so it should have stopped in my opinion, but whatever, that's personal preference anyway. So here we gotta make a left, and we can squeeze in here, so that works wonderful. And then we just gotta wait. This will be quite a wait here before we can go. Each direction usually has its own green, and then the turn signals come on, the turn arrows, as we have one here, come on either before or after. We gotta make it over that way. There is we gotta get in between 2 islands right there. So, well, we'll wait and see here. All right, I'm in the car. Up in front is the camera. I hope you like my daughter's decor in here. So anyway, all right, full self-driving is ready to go. I'm gonna tap on it, and there we go. Let's see what it does. I do have my foot ready for the brake. We're making it easy out through the opening, and the wheel is turning. The car chooses actually to go towards the dirt, but it does not drive out into the dirt. And there we go. And it turns around. And now we don't know where to go. So with our driveway here, there is the driveway. Finally, it's our turn. All right, and then over here, we gotta make it, and there's a truck coming from the right that slows down. All right, we're in. That truck from the right did not have the right of way. They have a light there. So, all right. Yep, no, nothing eventful. So now we gotta get across this. There is another light. Let's see here. There we turn right. All right. Not anything too special here. I mean, it does pretty good, surprisingly good. I heard so many bad things at some point. So many people said, oh, it's great, and so many people said it's junk and it doesn't do good and it has phantom braking and this and blah 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 blah. So I don't know that all these people actually know what FSD is, and that they actually, if they actually have FSD, or if they're just using autopilot. Autopilot will act completely different on auto steer, and still has more phantom braking issues. But FSD was pretty good in version 12, and here with version 14 Lite, I think it's been amazing. Comparing it to the regular version 14 in the Cybertruck. So we got a green signal to turn, the car turns, it turns nicely into the correct lane and then changes lanes. And people don't do that. People just go wherever. You're supposed to turn into the very right lane when you turn right. That is the law. But so it does fine, it does good, and it uses the signal to turn or change lanes. Okay, maybe it's probably gonna turn on us. Okay, this time it slows down. Nice. Okay, So, and by the way, okay, now we got a signal to the right that is green, but we're going straight. By the way, commonly in most places in the United States, if you have a pedestrian crossing at a light, and I don't know if you can even see that here with the GoPro, but it's way over there. There somewhere. When that counts down at 0 is usually when the lights go to yellow. It's usually pretty immediate. There are times when it's not the case, but with lots of traffic, usually the pedestrians have green as long as the cars have green in the same direction. And then as the pedestrian counts down to 0, it will change, and it did exactly that here. So I always look at that when I'm driving. Now, I don't think FSD looks at that, but that's a different story. But just in case if you're driving, this is a thing you can look at. Most signals in most towns, cities are like that. All right, well, here it's green, and there is a scooter, an electric scooter, but nothing exciting here. By the way, we do not have these electric scooter rentals here in Missoula. They're not allowed, but people do have their own. So, all right, now we're coming closer to downtown Missoula. Got a light here. There we go, green. There's a Subaru with a huge tailpipe, but it sounds like a VW bug. I love it when they sound so loud and don't go anywhere, and then we're so quiet and the smallest electric car leaves them behind at the light. All right, we're a bit fast here. No different than HW4. So I'm going to chill because it's 25 here. So it slows down drastically once I go to chill. So we don't need sloth, but now we're at 27. We're going, you can see that car in front of us is pulling away a bit because we're going the actual, well, just above the speed limit. So everybody's usually going a bit fast around here. But yeah, so you still have to control the speed a little bit. There's no difference with HW4, with the version 14. You gotta keep controlling the speed a bit, especially slowing down. Speeding up is usually not so much of a problem, but acts exactly like HW4 basically so far. No differences found really. Like I said, that little jerking thing on the interstate, that is about the only thing that I never experienced in the Cybertruck. And today actually there was very, very little of that. So I don't know what it's caused by. Could not be FSD, could be caused by something else, who knows. All right, going into downtown Missoula here. We're going, what, 1, 2 on the third light, we make a right turn. So let's see if there's anything interesting going on here, but probably not. Yeah, it just drives. Here we got another red light. Unfortunately, we keep hitting red lights. We are in the left of the 2 lanes. The right lane goes straight and is a right turn, and the left lane we are in actually can turn left at most of these signals. So if there is pedestrians crossing and you have oncoming traffic and in front of you is a left turner or a right turner, you may be stuck in both lanes if you want to go straight, because yeah, neither one can go anywhere at times. So there we go, green, let's go. So now we got a few blocks to the next light. There's a couple tour coaches here, something going on. There's 3 of them, holy moly, I don't know. Beach the street, whatever, don't know. Tour buses, something, don't know. Oh, we got another light here. Oh, that light wasn't on the map. That is interesting. Yeah, there was no light right there where we're at. Huh. Yep, so let's see. We gotta get into the right lane here pretty soon. We don't have too far to go. Currently, that is not so great. Let's see, now they're going slower. We're going past. It's coming closer. It's coming up. So right now is the time. It's not doing it. But that's not necessarily bad, or, well, bad, not different. There we go. We're actually good right now. We got lucky. So hardware 4 is no different. I quite frequently think it can't make it. And there has been times when even hardware 4 did not make the turn because of attempting to change lanes so late. And by the way, if you see there, we have a right turn signal in the light bar on the dash here, right? This is a Neuro light from Teseri. There's a link down below in the description. My daughter desperately wanted some lights, like, you know, you gotta update your cars a little bit because nowadays all the Teslas have those lights. So yeah, this light bar goes all the way across and it shows you left and right turn signal. Also, it does where you just in green, that's also the blind spot. So it shows red if you have a turn signal set. Pretty cool stuff. Anyway, Teseri Neurolight. Check it out. There's a link down below in the description. So we gotta go a right-left combination there and see where we end up. This is a little tricky. So we are in the wrong lane. All right, it just barely made it. Barely. Okay. So because obviously this goes over this way and, well, we need to go that way. It barely made it. And now right here, we need to turn left again. So we got to get into the left lane. No problem. We got green, but no arrow. So we have to stop. No problem. So, and this will be a one-way street here. And there's a bus coming. And by the way, let me be quiet real quick when this bus goes by. Did you hear the diesel engine? If you say yes, you're a liar. The buses in Missoula, or most of the buses, are electric. So, and have been electric for several years. On top of that, they are free to ride, okay? Yes, without any additional huge cost to the taxpayer. These buses have been upgraded to electric a long time ago, several years ago. They're so much more efficient. They cost so much less to operate. And mostly businesses actually, oh, we got a green left arrow, we're going. Mostly businesses actually take over cost of that. So that allows people to ride the bus for free here in Missoula. All right. Now we're getting in here, and this will be an interesting one here, if I remember this right. So that's a navigation issue here too, because up there we can't go straight. But it actually shows a left turn, so we're good. And if you look up there, if you can see that thing hanging up there, that is a charger for a bus. That's where the buses of the university, also electric, charge right there. Well, when they're en route, they can charge there. And there's something going on here. Oh, we don't want to go in here now. So they got something going on there. And yep, don't know, some concert of sorts, right? So I took over here. It would have went in there and over and probably parked somewhere. Unfortunately, we had to abort that. So let me find a new location here real quick. Let's go over this way here. Let's end this trip. Let's tap here, Missoula College. Let's go there. All right, now let's see. There we go. This time it worked without stepping on the brake. I don't know why it didn't work the other time. Now it says driving to Missoula College, and we're stuck. Okay. Oh, there we go. We're going. We're going. And it's swinging a UE here. There's enough room. Okay. Yeah, that must be the band, the grist band here, I guess. Maybe they're practicing. Actually, University Day, all the kids just moved in here this week. And there again, there's that charger up there. So the bus parks right underneath it. It comes down and charges while it's sitting there during its stop. All right, so a relatively simple route. There's sometimes, sure enough, when we show up, there's not much going on. We got the stop. There is some traffic, but plenty of room. All right, we're going through here. By the way, the University of Missoula has 7 or 8 charge point chargers. They're all double chargers, so basically 16 of them. So this guy, okay, there he goes. He has a stop, and now they get pedestrians over there, but he was sleeping because I have a stop too. So sometimes people don't understand what that means, I guess. All right, we're getting on the bridge here, so we got traffic coming from over here, but we don't merge. Woo, he's coming a little fast here. There we go. We are in the correct lane. There's really not much excitement here, is there? It just does fine. It just does good. It knows where to go. Up here we're coming up to the signal. We currently have a green for turning right. We have our own lane. Yep, and we're going into the right lane as law requires, and we might stay in this one. We got 0.5 miles to go straight ahead. We're hitting another light up here, and as always it's red. We are in the right lane, which is also the right turn lane, but it's straight as well. And I think we actually maybe lose our lane here, just maybe a quarter mile up or so. Here in the trees is the sign about our lane going away. Signal is set and we're merging, no problem. So that sign is pretty much invisible even to the human eye. I know that it's there, but so the car doesn't. This is not a route that the car has driven lately anyway. So all right, we're coming closer here, and we're set to go park in the parking lot. This will be this big building to the right. There we go. So I don't even remember where the entrance is. Right here, I guess. Turn signal is set. We're turning. Everything's wonderful. All right, where are we going? Where are we going? We're going. Whoa, 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 whoa. We're turning right. Look at this. What's the problem? You can see the parking spots and you could see the arrow. We're going the wrong direction. And now it's parking here in the quick stop parking. Whoa, is this it? Really? Wow. Let's see. What the hell? Where's my cameras here? Really? What the heck? What's going on now? Look at this. My side cameras don't pull up. What the heck is going on here? Let's put it back into park. We don't need the software update. Let's try that again. Look at this stuff. Interesting, but we're way off. I mean, yeah. Let me back out here real quick manually. So I'm gonna just go straight back. So this is how we were parked, almost straight in instead of at an angle. And there's the arrow on the ground. We came in the wrong direction. So not very great. Let me see if I can find something more challenging, and then I'll get back to you. Back in business. We're still at the Missoula College here. I just pulled over. I wanted to see what the parking restrictions are. But anyway, we're going to Cracker Barrel. That should take us through a roundabout on the interstate there. That's kind of an interesting scenario right there. And then we'll see if we can find, where is it? Come on here, Cracker Barrel. It's kind of weird to get in there as well. So we'll do that one. And well, we'll see. I don't think it's going to be an issue. So we're in drive right now. Let's do self-driving. It goes to reverse. The cameras are gone. I don't like that, because I heard things about camera failures due to overheating. What is it doing now? Now it's just going left. What the heck? Look at that. Look at that. The navigation says go left, go around the parking lot. And that is the navigation telling the car to do this. This is dumb. And I know a lot of them do this, so. All right, we're going. All right, we're turning here. Okay, there we go. Oh, there's another entrance or exit. But we were right there, so yeah. Okay. They're plenty far. There's some here. Now we're good on the right, but not good on the left. Ooh, they're coming a bit quick there. We got, what, 2 cars coming, and all right, and we're good on this side, and off we go. All right, there we go. Okay, so we're coming back to this intersection with the light up here. We're gonna make a right, and then we have a double roundabouts, and then we get on the interstate, and then it'll be boring again. So we're coming up here. Not sure what that guy's doing over there. All right, we're going to make our right. Okay, and this is a right turn lane, so we got to go immediately left. No problem. Okay, see this guy here? My FSD did wonderful, but this guy obviously didn't see the arrows on the ground and everything. Holy crap. All right, and see, now we got to go out of this roundabout into the next roundabout. So this is a bit confusing to many, as you just seen, like this truck here, and then he drives over the curb there. Well, it's not really a curb, but yeah, so this is confusing to many people. FSD done right, the guy in front of us didn't. So again, the human driver failed while the FSD worked. Wonderful. All right, now we're on the interstate. This is a relatively short on-ramp, I believe, here. So this guy is going extremely slow. Well, there's nobody coming behind us, so we got plenty of time, but holy crap, look at this. This guy is just not accelerating. He gets on the interstate and then starts accelerating. That is ridiculous. With an electric car on that ramp, you easily make the 65. So we're still in chill. So I'm gonna go up to standard. Yeah, I'll be a couple miles, and then we'll get off the interstate. Okay, I'm back, and I know it sounds different. I'm sorry, I realized my microphone is about to die. I'm telling you, these electric things don't have any range. So yeah, we're exiting here, and then we have to do a right turn down here at the light. We got our own lane to do so. This truck is kind of blocking the view to the left. I mean, I can't see anything at this point. Let's crawl forward. Oh, we're good. And oh, that's not a pedestrian, that is somebody that wants the little money. All right, we're going up here, getting into the left, and coming up here. We gotta go left. Okay, we're doing fine. We're getting into the center lane. No problem. Going in here. That is a little tricky to get through here. People sometimes get lost trying to find Cracker Barrel in here. So let's see how this does. Okay, see this person in front of us? They want to go to Cracker Barrel, but they were about to turn into the hotel here. All right, And yeah, there's a lot of stuff around here. Here we go. So this is the entrance to Cracker Barrel. As you could see, again, FSD did flawless. The person in front of us, the driver, didn't know where to go. I'm telling you, FSD v14 Lite drives better than people. Okay? I mean, it parked a little crooked. Now this guy, ooh, I don't even know if he can make it in one turn there. It's only a freaking little dang now. Whoa, 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 whoa. Now that they're pulling through. Look at that. So it kind of hit the brakes here real quick because they pulled through. There's 2 parking spots and obviously they were supposed to stop in the other one. But they pulled through and then this car here kind of stopped a bit. So now it's interesting. Here's the navigation. Now we're going around. Not sure where it's going now. There's a person walking here. Interesting. It's driving around. I wonder if it's gonna park me somewhere or not. So, but yeah, you have seen now twice, and now we're going back to where we came from. You have seen now twice where people actually failed. Yeah, but driving where FSD did fine. So one of the issues here is the parking, and this particular parking lot is a bit weird, and I don't know what it's looking for. There's tons of parking here. Maybe we'll keep circling a few more times. There's the Prius still. Yeah, I guess we just keep going around and around and around. Now we're going right again. Okay, now we're going back out. I guess we just keep circling. So I don't know if this is necessarily v14 Lite. V14 and the Cybertruck done similar stuff. I usually don't let it go, okay? I just let it go this far just because, so you can watch. And there we go again. So yeah, now I'm taking it. All right, let me just pull in here real quick. There. So yeah, so I don't know, it may circle endless. I don't know what it's looking for. The parking spot, or the dot, the pin on the map, was kind of behind the building where those where the semi was. So I don't know how long it will go on the Cybertruck. I just disengage. I don't deal with this. I just park, right? Because I have a life to live, and probably so do you, so we can't go in circles forever and ever. There are some well, what do you call them? Influencers. Call them influencers out there that, well, some of them have 1,000-mile streak, or this guy that has like 25,000 miles. That's worth the video, because we got to talk about the streak anyway and all this stuff. But well, yeah, I don't know why I keep circling. In real life, your streaks are going to be not that long, because you want to park and you want to get on with life, just like here. So this is happening. This is happening on hardware 4 on the Cybertruck anyway as well. But I've heard from other people with the Model Y and Model 3s doing the same thing. So, I mean, it is pretty darn amazing. Hardware 3 with v14 Lite is amazing. It's not worse than the other version 14, really. I mean, it drives amazing. Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be some differences, obviously, but these differences don't necessarily affect the driving. I don't know if they would affect safety, really, because it's pretty darn safe. It stops for pedestrians. If you have a bicyclist, it does go around. I experienced that. If there's pedestrians, we have lots of times people walking dogs, it does go around. It is just as good as version 14 on hardware 4, really. Obviously, because the processor, the hardware here, is a bit slower, can't go as fast and process all this stuff as quick, and the cameras are a little bit different. I mean, it still sees everything. Probably, maybe there's a slight difference at night, but even like with this here, I had the sun shining in my face and it's hard to see, but it still done fine. It didn't really do anything. It used to abort in situations like that with hardware 3 here, but it doesn't anymore. So for real life, FSD is great. It takes you most places. Parking is sometimes really great, sometimes an issue. Once in a while, I experienced it once where it took a handicap parking spot, and once when it took a one of those pickup spots at the store, right, where you just park to pick up your stuff. They bring it out to your car. And then today, yeah, here on hardware 3, it didn't do a great job both times. Hardware 4 does pretty decent on the Cybertruck. Actually, it's kind of on the Cybertruck being so big, it does actually pretty good overall, but it has done some crooked stuff too. And this varies all the time. So when you watch these videos, they can have a perfect video or they can have a really bad video. Well, not really the video, the drive, sorry. They can have a really bad drive or a really good drive, right? That doesn't really mean anything because the next drive is different. Every drive is different because traffic's always different. Everything's always different every time you drive. So that's why I liked to drive it before I did this video. So I really know what I'm talking about. And I can tell you, I've been impressed since the beginning. I didn't expect it to get this good, but it's pretty darn good. So I think at this point, hardware 3 has a great chance to manage this and become at least very, very close to fully autonomous. So hardware 4 is already old. So hardware 4 is already old, and if you listen to the financial calls and everything, so Elon was kind of talking, it doesn't really make sense to upgrade to hardware 4 because basically hardware 5 is kind of incoming, even though hardware 5 shouldn't come into the cars right away. He said that they would maybe go more into Optimus, but so at some point he said that probably upgrading needs to be done for these hardware 3 vehicles, which it can be done relatively easy. The cameras can be replaced super easy. The big problem will be the processor, which actually sits, well, up under there, so right forward up on the firewall. Yeah, so that will probably be the toughest part there. But so he was kind of hinting at maybe there's a hardware 5 upgrade coming to these vehicles. Now that said, in order to get a hardware 5 upgrade or a hardware 4 or any upgrade, you have to have full self-driving, right? So with this vehicle that we have, we purchased it, so we would definitely qualify, just as we did qualify from a hardware 2.5 to hardware 3 upgrade for free. If you can no longer buy it. These are older vehicles. I think what, 23, 24, the end of 23, beginning 24 somewhere. That's when hardware 4 started. So we're talking at least 2-year-old, 3-year-old vehicles now, with hardware 3. And many people did not have FSD, never cared about FSD, maybe still don't care about FSD. So you gotta at least subscribe to FSD to get an upgrade. And then I do not know if you're gonna get that for free. I have the suspicion you will have to pay just an amount, just not necessarily the actual cost, but maybe $1,000. So for people that at the time when you were still able to purchase FSD for these hardware 3 vehicles, if you purchased it, you got the upgrade for free. If you wanted to subscribe to it, you had to pay $1,000 to get the upgrade. So maybe it's something like that, I don't know. But at this point in time, the hardware 4 version 14 and the hardware 3 version 14 Lite are doing pretty much the same thing. I really haven't noticed any real differences. many situations are similar, and like I said, you can have, like we're circling this parking lot today, tomorrow it may just park. And I had that with the Cybertruck too. It circled around the gas station, getting off the supercharger in Belgrade. It drove all the way back around where the semis are parked one time, and then the next time around it just took the exit right there straight out. So situations vary, days vary, lighting varies, everything varies. I don't know, maybe some of those cars are really alive and have a soul, I don't know. But hey, I'm impressed with V14 Lite. I love it, and I encourage my daughter to use it. I think it's safe. I think she can definitely handle this. She was not using version 12 much at all, but here she has been using way more. She was a little hesitant in town at first, and then I was in the car, well, I was behind the wheel but not driving, so that she could see that it's actually totally safe. And so now she is using it more and more. So, and I encourage her to use it because I think this is safe, and well, this will be pretty good for some time. Obviously the later hardware will advance more because there will be software updates for that we cannot have on this because the processor is just not fast enough, big enough, whatever, right? So eventually we do need some sort of an update. All right, well, the sun is about to set here. It's right in my face at 8 p.m. and I gotta head in that direction. Well, I'll be using FSD. I don't expect anything unusual here. Yeah, we've been using this on all the time here, going to the fair. We had fair in town, and there was even an intersection that usually only has a stop on 2 ways. They made it into an all-way or 4-way stop for the fair. That is obviously not on the map. The car did just fine on FSD here on version 14 Lite. So yes, I've been impressed. I haven't experienced any bad things. People tell me it drives over stuff. Well, so does version 14 in hardware 4. It does stupid stuff, so you still have to pay attention. That's why it's still called supervised. It's not perfect, so it may mess up mostly during parking or unparking. So it doesn't remember much from, like right now that it parked, it doesn't remember what was here when we start driving again. It just goes off what it can see. And I believe there are some blind spots, especially where there's a little post or something right on the side. That's where some people got in trouble, but these blind spots are basically the same on hardware 4. So all right, well, anyway, if you want to know how this car worked on version 12 not too long ago, there's a video about that, so go check that out. It is definitely different, and you can see it can do way more at this point. Also, we have a whole bunch more videos, road trip videos. Lots of tips and tricks are in those road trip videos. We done multiple times 1,000 miles a day with an electric car, no issues with the family. It's really not a problem. Not any harder to do than with a gas car. Also doesn't really take any longer. We have wintertime driving videos. We have repair videos. Done some stuff here with this one, accessories. Oh yeah, as I pointed out earlier, these lights, right, that the Neuro light from Tesseri, there's a link down below in the description. Update your Model 3. We did update this a little bit here and there, and actually I don't know if I can, whoop, I don't know if you can see that here. Whoop, there it is. There's a screen back here. It even has the correct time. This yep, all right. This is an aftermarket screen. Obviously 2018 Tesla Model 3 doesn't have a screen back there. This screen came from Hans show, and so now we have a screen back there, and well, your kids, if you have kids or whatever, your rear passengers can do stuff, including move the passenger seat forward, so just like the newer cars can. So yeah, there are things you can do and update that we done with this, that we done with our 2013 Model S. So there's lots of stuff there. If you're a handy person that has done stuff before on internal combustion engine vehicles, you can do a lot of stuff on these here too. There are videos about what we done, so go and check those out as well. And give us a thumbs up for this video. Give us a thumbs up for all the videos of ours that you watch. Make sure you're subscribed, because I'm sure we'll have an update here. I mean, something will be happening soon. I suspect by the end of this year, there will be some changes on the hardware 4 side in regards to software, and we'll see where we're at with this at that point. Yeah, Tesla is continuously updating, but we're kind of maxed out for full self-driving on this. So make sure you're subscribed so you can see how this evolves with hardware 3 on Teslas. Obviously, if you don't have a Tesla and you can purchase a vehicle with hardware 4, that is great. You're in business, right? They're really in demand these days, so Tesla used cars been going up. You might have to buy a new one, but that's not a bad deal either, because whoa, I mean, yeah, go watch our video so you learn why you should drive electric. There is really not, I don't know that there is actually any negatives to it. There's nothing that is worse with an electric car than it is with an internal combustion engine car. I would say 99.9% of everything is better with an electric car than with an internal combustion engine. All right, anyway, thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button, right, so you don't miss out on our next video and all the future videos. In any event, thank you for watching. Goodbye.